Hello everybody, I'm back again. I'm back. Hey, that's kind of appropriate. I'm back. That was the Arnold thing, right? From the movies. Well, what I'm showing you right now is where it all happens here. I guess that you call it the Belarusian Hollywood. It is Belarus film. But they make mostly war movies. Hey, Arnold maybe would like that in that kind of a thing too. I guess they do some middle-aged type movies. Some are very good movies, I guess. But I said I was going to possibly make another video today, and I was going to go someplace and have a beer, and you know, there's always a couple of drunks hanging around in that place. But my video took over 5 hours to upload, so I couldn't get out and go anywhere, because you can't film another video while the other one is uploading, at least as far as I know, because my phone doesn't really work. Nothing really works while I'm uploading a video onto YouTube. I guess it takes all that kind of power. So let's see. Anyway, so I forgot a few things. You know, there was like maybe 20 to 25%. I guess I missed a whole side of one of my cards about some information. There's some very well, I don't know, what do you call it, shocking, well, breaking news. There's some breaking news that came out, and I'll get right into that. Look, Sean Penn. No, anyway, but the breaking news is that the Kursk region has been liberated by the Russians. It looks like they freed the last town of all the invaders, the Ukrainian invaders. Wait a minute, I thought the Russians were the invaders, you know? Actually, even if it's pretty true that that area was considered Ukraine, you know, at least not that area, not Kursk, but the other places, Zaporozhye, Kherson, places like that. The real truth is that if Ukraine would have actually kicked the Russians out, it would have been a re-enslavement and not a liberation, because those areas were Russian long ago, and of course they switched over. I think, what was the year when Vladimir Lenin gifted some of those regions to Ukraine, and Crimea, I guess that turned over on, I think it was in 1954. Oh, by the way, I got, I think, one fact wrong. I probably said yesterday something about the 30 Years' War of, no, I said it was about the migration, a major year for, I hope you guys can hear me with all this traffic, maybe I'm screaming, but it was a major year for migration from like Germans going to the United States. I probably said 1648, but normally they mark the year as 1684. Oh, well, I twisted it around. Anyway, but I'm going to be in the movies anyway, so I can do like this. I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be a star. Oh, Zelensky. So, look at this guy here. What's he up to? Look at this guy. Oh, he's the guy that's cutting hair. There's a real person behind him. Anyway, maybe they don't want people to see him getting their haircut. You know, like you see how I get my haircut. I mean, I know how it is going in there and not wanting people to see you getting your haircut. I don't like it very much at all. That's why I never do it. No, I don't know. I just never cut my hair, never bothered. Anyway, it was a long time ago, and I should actually cut off part of the end of it anyway, at least like maybe 5 or 6 inches. Oh, that hurts, 5 or 6 inches. No, do I have that much? Just kidding, just kidding. So, like a tractor driving itself. I didn't know they had those, I'm just kidding. Let's start getting there was a little bit of news, some things I forgot, and I still forgot. But one of them was with Patrick Lancaster. This is pretty funny, and actually it's a good thing that I didn't say this until now. I mean, after. Oh, look at somebody just got married. She's my wife. Here she comes. Let's see if you guys can see that. Probably have to hurry up. I tell you what, there's a guy in one of my Russian classes. He just got married. I don't know. I believe it was today as well. That's not him. Let's see. Anyway. Congratulations. I forgot the word in Russian, so they probably didn't know what the heck I was talking about. Anyway, so, but what happened was, he had an interview with Tucker Carlson. It was Patrick Lancaster, who's actually, one of the questions was, let me just say it that way, one of the questions from Tucker was to Patrick Lancaster if he's met any other Americans that are, so to speak, embedded there, like Fox News or CNN or NPR, any of those things. And he said no. He said he's the only one. But they got these people like CNN and all that. They're over there with they're with the Ukrainians. They're all with the Ukrainians. You got multiple reporters, lots and lots of reporters from the United States on the Ukrainian side, embedded with the Ukrainians, but none of them with the Russians. And maybe the Russians wouldn't want it. Maybe I don't think so, because they let Patrick Lancaster in there. So that is probably not true. And of course they have some Russian ones. And the problem is Ukraine purposefully targets reporters. It's just like Israel. I keep trying to tell you guys all the similarities between Israel and Ukraine, and there's a lot of them. You guys probably can't see me, can you? Got the sun in my back again. But there's a lot of similarities. Now you can't hear me because of the traffic. I believe I have to put it in front of me. Well, you guys can enjoy the view and listen to my great voice screaming at the I think there must have been a light. There's a little bit fewer cars at the moment. Yeah, light up here. Slowing down. Okay. So what else did Patrick Lancaster say? Patrick Lancaster said Tucker Carlson was asking him about the North Korean soldiers. And he said he's been looking since Zelensky had mentioned it, that there's 17,000 North Korean soldiers fighting on the side of Russia. And he said he hadn't seen any of them. He's been asking around and nobody had seen any of them, But I told you guys, and you all know this, they're invisible. They got a cloaking device and the flux capacitor so they can disappear into a different time zone when the time needs to be. And I think if that fails, they've got Napoleon Dynamite's time machine. You guys watch that movie, Napoleon Dynamite? Well, the North Koreans are not dummies. They got that to work. So they made a whole bunch of them. They stick them between their legs, and then and then they go into a different time zone and have a good time while they're doing it. Well, actually, Napoleon Dynamite didn't have a good time. But anyway, the reason why it's a good thing maybe that I didn't put that out this morning is because Maria Zakharova, since just today the Kursk region got liberated, she put out a little trolling the Ukrainians. It was, they do that. It's not just Medvedev that does that, the former president of Russia, but it's Maria Zakharova as well. She put out, "We will never forget our friends. Thanks to the North Koreans for helping us in Kursk." And I'll tell you what, when you have a lot of these liberals and these crazy people like that, I don't think they know what a joke is, and they don't even know what trolling really is, probably. I don't know. So they're gonna think that that's an admission, I'll bet. Maybe I'll take a walk up there. Actually, my destination is right about over there, but I'm gonna maybe take a different route. Look at this, big difference than Berlin. Look at, you actually have grass here. This is a fine bladed grass, very nice. I'm believing I can walk on the grass. So some places you can't walk on the grass in Belarus. Like if you go to the Brest Fortress, because of all the blood that was shed there, you're not allowed to walk on the grass. It's pretty bad if you do. Tree in bloom. A new building going up there. Wow, looks like a pretty big one. I wonder if that's look at those rounded pillars. I wonder if that's a parking garage or something. That'd be the biggest parking garage I've ever heard of. I doubt it, but who knows what that is. Some part of the design. So let's get away from the traffic here. I don't have much more to say. Like I said, this is just a supplementary updated video from today. And I didn't even, I threw my cards away. I don't even remember what I forgot to put out. But the main news is, of course, what's going on. That Kursk was liberated. Kursk. So that's, I guess, good news. And if you guys have been watching the news, or have been getting the news even, from what's going on since the Ukrainians invaded there, a lot of mass murders, lots and lots of mass murders in certain towns. I'm not sure what were they. That was, I get it mixed up with the Israelis, and I put it out in a different video because there's one of them kills all the men in the towns, and the other one, what's this? The other one kills all the women, and I think they killed all the men. And of course, you know, whatever they say about the Russians, there's a lot of that, even the Palestinians, it's completely, so much of it is untrue. And I'm not saying that none of these instances never happened, but I'm just saying that it's even beyond an exaggeration. But a lot of the witnesses are talking about, you know, like the rapes and things like that, and a lot of these were foreign soldiers, a lot of Polish, there were Colombian, American, a few American, not that many, they're British, and what are some of the other British, quite a few French, lots and lots of Polish people, and then, you know, a fair number of men from Colombia as well, and a lot of raping going on and mass murders, but of course a lot of them are Ukrainian that are doing it, so can't exclude the Ukrainians that are doing a lot of that stuff. And yeah, a lot of these people, they're just, you know, it's not like, oh, there's no Nazis anywhere else except for Ukraine, but there's Nazis everywhere, like in Israel too. So it's just a different type of Nazi. They just don't, they try to shy away from the name Nazi, but they're Nazis. So, okay. Let's see, that was the most important news, but there's other news as well. You know, you guys have been hearing about, I haven't been looking into it that much, but this, I could have, but I don't, because even if I'm now starting to have more time, I don't want to, I got better things to do, and I don't get paid for this, but it's like a big skirmish between India and Pakistan now, and you know, things getting hot words and things, so hopefully that's going to work itself out. And this morning, the video I put out a little bit earlier today, that's already talking about a lot of the circus going on with the piss plans and the peace plans and all this sort of thing. And I'll tell you what, Donald Trump, unfortunately, he's got to play like he's stupid, you know, like a wimpy and stupid. And some people have even said that he's being really wimpy. You know, he's got to put his foot down about Ukraine. But then Ukraine keeps coming out and saying, oh, he's favoring the side of Russia, even though he doesn't do anything for Russia. But yet they're sending a lot of money, a lot of weapons, and they're giving all the intelligence, satellite connections, everything to Ukraine. They don't give any of that to Russia. Oh, but he's favoring Russia. Yeah, right. Maybe with some words, and that's about it. But I told you about the peace plan and what he's asking for security guarantees, big security guarantees. And in effect, he's acting like he has a whole bunch of cards. And it's like, because like Trump would be saying, well, are you threatening me? I mean, what do you have to use against me when you threaten me? Well, what it is Trump had an election promise that he wanted to end this war, and so Zelensky is basically saying, well, I'm not going to consent to ending this war, and it has to go through me, even though I am not the elected government of Ukraine. I lost my mandate already months ago. In the moment, we don't have a head of state. Oh, but please don't notice that. Don't pay attention to that man behind the curtain. But, you know, I'm not going to sign anything, and you're not going to get your ego gratified by doing what you said you were going to do, unless you do what I tell you to do. So that's basically what Zelensky's doing. And then, of course, his main goal is to keep that money flowing, you know. And, you know, he does that with using that ideology. And, of course, a lot of those people that succumb to that ideology, they want that money to keep flowing, too. None of them really care anything about Ukraine. They don't care about the people of Ukraine. They'll shovel hundreds of thousands of them to their certain death against the Russians. You know, but, well, anyway, Germany gave them a huge amount of ammunition, a lot of artillery shells, enough to last them for many months. So, who knows? You know, what's going to happen to that? I don't know. They're probably, of course, as you know, they sell a lot of that information, or that ammunition. They sell it all over. They had 66, they got 66 armored vehicles. And, you know, if they want to have a big war against Russia at some point in time, which I wouldn't doubt that they don't, but of course they care a lot more in the immediate future about all that money, so they're going to be selling a lot of those armored vehicles, abroad. Makes you wonder if Germany is really that stupid to keep doing that when they know that the Ukrainians sell. Hey, I don't know. I don't really know. Okay, some of the other information I was going to put out was, what is her name? Virginia, I didn't write it again. It was on my card and I scrunched it up from this morning. But she was the one you see in the pictures, as during this Epstein sex affair thing, the pedophilia island and all that sort of thing. But the one you see with well, in the background, I think there's Epstein is there, Ghislaine Maxwell, Prince Andrew, and this girl, and she actually looks happy there. But anyway, I don't know, how old was she back then, 17 or 16, I have no idea. But anyway, this one that was having sex with him, she died supposedly of suicide. She was married. I think she's 41 years old, living in Australia on a farm with her husband, and I think they have kids or whatever. She was recently in this car accident, and it's unclear whether it was minor or if it was not minor. In the pictures, she didn't look that good. So it makes you wonder, when you have a lot of money and a lot of influence, and especially if you're in a place like Australia that used to be part of the British Empire, you might be persuaded to change stories a little bit. So who knows what the real truth is? You never know what the real truth is about anything, A lot of stuff I put out, it's not even certain. Anything that anybody puts out. There's been a lot of things that come out and they're not really true, and it's not like the people reporting it are necessarily exaggerating it, but some people do. Anyway, enough said about that. I don't think I have anything else more. Yes. Oh, part of that thing with the Epstein deal is, you're reminded, if you go back to 2008, there was a very, very well-known Russian model, a young Russian model, very beautiful, more beautiful than a lot of those that you see that were taken to the Epstein Island. And anyway, well, she was taken there in 2006, and her death occurred in 2008. And no suicide note. She liked life. Who knows if she was even involved with anything? Maybe she just saw things. I don't know. Maybe she outright refused to do anything. I have no idea. What happened? I don't know about any information about this girl, but she was a well-known model. And supposedly, she jumped from her 9th floor Manhattan apartment. So she had a lot of money. And they said, the cause of death, she was unhappy because she missed Russia. And I guess she loved Russia and all that sort of thing. I guess she was very cheerful, and none of her family, none of her friends saw that there were going to be any chance whatsoever of her ever committing suicide. And yeah, she did, but it's very convenient. A lot of convenient suicides. Even Epstein's suicide itself is very convenient, I guess. Wow. Makes you wonder. And I guess, he was Mossad. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was big Mossad agent, and a lot of things like that. And it's a known fact that Barack Obama, I've said that in other videos, a lot of other people say that, and I think maybe even Obama has said that his father was working for the CIA, if it was his father, whichever is his real father, I don't know. And, Big Mike, I talked about Big Mike, that's his wife, Michelle. They call her they call it Big Mike. I don't know if that's, I don't even know anymore, like I said, there was this video, and maybe I should have tried to post it. I think it was from TikTok. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that stuff anyway, but it was like a guy. He was kind of a masculine, charismatic guy. He could have been a really cool dude, but I guess he was a transgender. Still had his voice. He still looked like a man. He had hair like mine, and that's the only thing that anybody could say, oh, look at this guy, but they don't do that to me. But anyway, but he had these mammary glands, apparently. You didn't see it. It was like the camera angle was like from here up. And I was love this guy, and he bragged about and loved the fact that he used the woman's bathroom, and he said if any women didn't like it, he would step out until she actually left, and then he'd go back in. But, well, why do you have to be there that long? Can't you do something really? I don't, I tell you what, when I take a piss, I don't need that much time, but Anyway, and you know, when I start, I can't stop. So what was he doing in there during the time when he stopped and he left? I don't know. I tell you what, maybe he had wet pants afterwards. I tell you what, once you start, man, you can't stop. Anyway, I'm going to get on doing my business. I'll try to upload this. Let's see how long this takes. The last one today took over 5 friggin' hours, and they never even stopped it. Normally, sometimes they stop and I got to start all over again. That didn't even happen. It was just really slow. I don't really know. Is it Belarus or is it, I don't know what it is, why it takes so long. So anyway, you guys can't see it if I hold it up really high. It's the National Public Library over there. I actually wanted to go there and film that at sometime in the nighttime, but you know, days are long now. I still might even do it one day, but I have to stay up really late because at nighttime it's all lit up and lots of, you know, a light show on the National Public Library. Pretty interesting. Anyway, somebody else in Belarus, now they heard me say that and they're going to go film it. Quite a light show. Anyway, that's all I have for right now, and I'll try to do a more interesting video, something about, like I said, I wanted to go and film in one place, talk a little bit, and then a bunch of drunks, well, a couple drunks might come up to me, you know, and want to be my best friend as long as I buy them a drink. You know how that is. Maybe I'll do that in the next days. Can't go on Monday, the place is closed. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.